You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
Minutes, 21 seconds. 5-second tone followed by a 1-second pause.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Okay, gang, let's go.
From the space city called Houston, Texas, welcome to Spaceboy Universe, featuring Spaceboy and the lovely Surlana. So strap in and prepare for launch sequence.
Greetings and salutations. I'm Spaceboy, and across from me is the lovely Surlana, and this is Spaceboy Universe. It is August the 11th, and this is show number 2.30, and tonight's exciting topic is fake news. As always, follow us on Twitter. That's at the SB Universe. Follow Surlana at Surlana. Follow me. That's at Spaceboy Music. Make sure to hashtag your tweets tonight with hashtag SB Universe and hashtag Space Cadets. You know, you can find all of us all over social media. Just look for Spaceboy Universe. Hey, Space Cadets. Want to check out our YouTube channel? Well, we do more than just the archive of shows there. That's right. There is video content from SB Music, video interviews, 2-Bit Gamers, and so much more. Hit that subscribe button, click that bell, and be notified when new content is available. Can't catch the show live? No problemo. You can take SBU on the go with you via Spreaker, SoundCloud, iTunes, iHeartMedia, and Spotify. That's right, we're on Spotify now. It's exciting times with Spaceboy Universe, and we're glad you're sticking with us. And then finally, if you want to support the universe, go to our Spaceboy Universe page. That is spaceboyuniverse.com. And, I guess in the middle of it is a donation spot. So donate if you feel generous, and donate to support the universe. And on that magical note, I'd like to introduce you to the woman who explores the universe with me, and that is the lovely Surlana. How are you, Surlana?
I'm recovered from last Saturday night's program.
Yes, it was a doozy, and it is archived out there. And to make it sweet and short, there is a clip out there that's tailor-made for...
I don't know why you cut the clip off there, because there's more. There's more after that.
Well, there's more of you leaving the studio.
You hear me?
I mean, what else is... I mean, there's me stammering to try to, like...
But that was funny,
fill the rest of that little bit of the show, you know?
That was funny, too. I don't know what got into us. Maybe we weren't feeling good, or maybe we were just giddy. I don't know what. I
felt lethargic is what
I don't know. Maybe there was a gas leak or
carbon monoxide.
But some reason you got tickled over something, and that set me off, and I had to leave the room.
Yeah,
I had an emergency because I was laughing so hard.
Apparently, I made you laugh beyond a point that you...
I had to go change my pants. Let's just put it that way. So, yeah. So I was at work this week. I was alone in an elevator, and I just started thinking about it. I just had this image of you dabbing your forehead, bleeding, and I just couldn't stop laughing.
Well, and for those people, if they want to reach out and find that clip, go to our YouTube channel. It's there. It's you can't miss it.
We had our guest, Dorlis Ramos.
Great guest, by the way.
Yeah, it's in the last 20 minutes of the broadcast. I don't have the actual time index.
The point is,
but it's in the last 20 minutes.
Surlana's trying to overcomplicate it. Just go to our YouTube channel. The clip is there. You can't miss it. It's like you'll find it right there on our YouTube channel, Spaceboy Universe. Just look for Spaceboy Universe on YouTube. And when you're there, go ahead and click the subscribe button and click the bell so you'll get notified when new content's available. It's
when you record this section.
Exactly. You know, we've been trying to do the Monday thing recording video where you get a clip of the show. And unfortunately, that night, apparently the video didn't record for some reason or another. But we're on our game, and you'll definitely get some video behind the scenes clip of me talking about a particular topic. Like, for example, last week I got into it about social media and when it comes to posting things on the internet and how sometimes this stuff will come back to bite you. And basically that's centered around me talking about James Gunn and how he posted all this stuff dealing with pedophilia on his Twitter. And it was quite extensive, wouldn't you say, Surlana?
Yeah, it was sort of just these comments in poor taste about young boys. And I there were just so many of them, because how I'm saying this, because somebody went back, took the trouble, and compiled them together in one giant screenshot.
Mm-hmm. And at that time, you felt that this seems like if you like the iceberg. You know how they say the iceberg, the tip of the iceberg is only just on top of the water. There's so much more underneath the iceberg. And I was like, well, I'm not one to, I think he made some bad jokes. I don't agree with the jokes he made, but I was willing to give him the benefit of the doubt because, we live in this age where, hey, I was stupid. I put stuff on social media. Please forgive me kind of stuff. And so I was willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. Wouldn't you agree? And
yeah, you told me that.
Yeah. So come to find out, apparently some pictures have surfaced of him at some kind of pedophilia themed party. And it's like, okay, I was willing to give you the benefit of the doubt, but these pictures are really damaging. And so, at this point, I agree with Disney not trying to hire him back. And quite frankly, I can't support the guy anymore after everything I've seen and heard.
I told you, okay, I was like, okay, if you want to think that, that's fine. But I said, why would somebody be that dumb to put something like that out there for the public, even if it was years ago before he got, famous and stuff. But I just thought there's got to be some kind of proclivity there.
Well, here's my thoughts on that, Surlana, is that, we're in a society right now, and we'll probably get into this in our discussion tonight, which deals with fake news. But but the thing is, we're in a society right now. It's so easy to label somebody guilty for something. Like, for example, Chris Hardwick. And his situation where he was accused by his ex-girlfriend.
Just jumped on things without any verifiable facts.
Guilty.
Without even hearing from him.
Without proving his innocence, And so it's kind of like...
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
My perspective now is that I am not so eager to just point the finger at somebody and label them guilty or until I get all the facts. And
it's not even that. You don't even have to be guilty. You just have to have an opinion that's not standard to whatever the popular opinion is now. They'll want to take you off of Twitter, off of Facebook. Why won't Twitter remove you? Because you don't think the same as everyone else? That's not fair. So,
and I'm sure we'll get more into this in our discussion.
Yeah.
But as I wrap this up, my final thoughts on the gun issue is that after seeing the pictures, I just cannot support him anymore. And so, and that's how I feel about that.
That's why I guess Disney axed him. But as you had pointed out before, the cast of Guardians of the Galaxy, which he's directed, the first one, the second one, wanted him back.
And now
I don't know if this is before that came out.
This is before all that stuff
about him
came
attending
out.
that party.
It'll be interesting to see how, because Batista
Yes.
Was saying, I'm not going to be in this movie if his script is not used or if he's not going to be rehired.
I'm like, well, they'll just kill off Drax.
Well, the thing is that, Disney has made a decision, and it's not even Marvel that, Kevin Feige didn't make this decision. He's over the Marvel part.
But Disney's over Marvel.
Disney executives have made the decision to fire him, Gunn that is. And, I'm of the perspective of, a company can hire or fire whoever they want. That's their prerogative. That's their business. If they feel that it threatens the brand, quote unquote, and it's in their right to do that. And Disney is one of those that tries to project family friendly. And the idea of having somebody with this pedophilia talk around it.
Well, it's not good PR for them.
It doesn't bode well for them.
Whether he did it or not.
At this point, it's like Disney had to make a decision on this, and I think that they've made a decision that best serves them.
Well, so you're saying, they said, this guy would quit, and I was like, well, I guess he's going to quit because now it's a thing, So what does this mean? So they're saying, heck, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 may just become Thor 4 instead. Mm-hmm. Maybe they'll just close that chapter of Marvel, of the Guardians, and just continue in with Thor. Maybe they can work them in, but it's more about Thor. And, who would be heading that would be probably they'll bring back Taika Waititi. Mm-hmm. As long as poor Taika doesn't have any skeletons in his closet, be responsible on social media. But that might be a way for Disney to punish the people who supported Gunn.
Well, I don't think they're punishing them. I think that if they decide, well, like in Batista's situation, that he still has a contract to do a third movie. They all have a contract. They signed up for 3 movies. Yeah. And so if they could get into a lot of legal situations if they don't honor their contracts. And, it frustrates me because this kind of really segues into Star Wars because of the mess that Star Wars is in right now. Disney is hurting bad in the sense that,
these are 2 things that are hurting them.
Well, it all kind of started with Star Wars, and then now all of a sudden they're getting this issue with Marvel. And they can't afford Marvel because Marvel has been churning out blockbusters and bringing in the money, unlike Star Wars, which really totally alienated all the fans. And part of that was when the company labeled all these fans and started calling them names, and the fans revolted. The fandom struck back.
Man, these directors are not very smart, are they, when it comes to social media?
Well, Rian Johnson, he's a buffoon. I'm just going to put it out there. And if he thinks he's going to get his own trilogy of movies after everything that's gone down, he's sadly mistaken. And then, we're still waiting to see what happens with Kathleen Kennedy and if they're going to let her go or she's going to, resign with dignity. And next month is when we find out.
She's not fired?
No, they're trying to give her an exit strategy, and you've got and then I've heard to the fact that J.J. Abrams wants to possibly break the 9th movie into 2 parts, kind of like what they did for Harry Potter. The Harry Potter had its last movie was broken into 2 parts, and I can only imagine that maybe JJ wants to do this because it would be able to correct the sins, if you will, of the Rian Johnson movie. And so that's where we're at with that situation. But I'm almost to a point where I just don't care about Star Wars anymore, and it breaks my heart to say that because how much of a fan I am of Star Wars. And
welcome to my club. I welcome you with open arms to the I am totally over Star Wars club.
Well, it's different from you. You don't have a leg or a chicken in this game, or even a goat for that matter. So yeah, hey boys and girls. The word of the day is buffoon. Can you say buffoon? Nice try. I knew you could. Anyway, so K-28, Star Wars, the Voldemort Wars. So where do we go from here, Surlana? So we could change the subject. I promise you I won't talk about Walking Dead.
That's not even relevant anymore, is it?
You don't even have a nail filer over there anymore, do you?
No, they're all in the other room. But they did, speaking of Talking Dead, Walking Dead, Talking Dead, that was the show that came on after, like a talk show. Talking Dead and Nerdist employees quit following Hardwick's reinstatement. They did hire Chris Hardwick back, AMC, for Talking Dead.
Their lawyers looked into the issue and said, "Okay, Chris, we found that we want to bring you back. We understand that it wasn't your fault. That he was a casualty of the
media.
Me Too movement and media for playing it up, making him look like he was guilty before they proved him innocent on the charges. What we're dealing with is some psycho girlfriend who wanted to make his life miserable."
Well, she succeeded for a while there. We'll talk more in depth about how we're in this post-truth world, and that fits in perfectly with the attitude or the lack of thought process in society today. That fits in. Not that that's fake news. It's just it's being judged and put on trial without the proper, so basically the world judged him without evidence.
Right. And some, I compare it to, getting all history on you is like McCarthy hearings when they were telling, you're a communist, blacklisting people.
Oh, yeah, that was highly paranoid.
It almost feels like that kind of situation nowadays. But, I know we're both eager to get into the subject matter.
I'm trying to hold on.
I'm trying to get you...
I'm looking for something frivolous here.
Yes, I'm trying to get you to pick something different other than, to get me riled up and pull my inner goat out.
There's a new version of Doom. And I watched a little bit of the gameplay. I still don't have the game. Doom Eternal is what it's called. Okay.
How does it compare to or look like from the...
it looks like there's more carnage, more impressive weapons that you can get. I saw, you play the first-person shooter.
Right.
On the arm, like the left arm of your character, it came out, and he pushed a button, and a blade extended from this arm piece. And it's like, oh, that is badass, I can't play these games because of the whole motion sickness thing.
Right.
But I can watch a video of someone else playing it.
I recently you reminded me. I had a dream about playing Doom, but get a load of this.
Old school Doom?
Well, hold on. Do you remember the game Diablo?
Yeah.
How it's kind of set where you got a little person that walks.
It's sort of top down.
Yeah. I imagined that the game I was playing was Doom, but like top down. Yeah,
that could be done.
And I thought, hey, that's great. I could play it without getting sick. You know, and that's
it's just a different.
And that was my dream as I was
third
playing,
person God mode perspective.
Yes, exactly.
Well, that's the second reason I don't play the modern Dooms is because you can't cheat anymore, or so I've heard is. You have to play the game all the way through, beat it, then you can come back and put the old school cheat codes in. I can't play like that.
There's something to be said that I don't want to invest in the time to do that, but to be able to play the God mode like Sandbox, it's kind of like I used to do that for Minecraft. In fact, I kind of still do, where I play it in God mode and get all the stuff I need.
What was it Rick said on Rick and Morty? He goes, so you mine things to craft with, and then you craft things to mine with.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
It's kind of this circle, and then you add that, and you try to protect yourself. And I think the fun part, and I know this is it's silly, is that I enjoy, carving out caves And
in
then,
Minecraft?
In Minecraft, because you can dig down, and I see how far I can get. And I've gotten to the bottom of the
Get out of
world.
my room! I'm playing Minecraft.
and then there sometimes you can dig underground and you hit these caverns, and there you got your dweebs, your jocks.
Yeah.
Your
Apparently, Doom Eternal is on Nintendo Switch, which is strange considering Doom is historically and currently a violent, bloody game about demons from hell. And Nintendo's always been notoriously family-friendly, positive games.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's not the case anymore.
Well, I imagine that they probably turned the blood like a different color because they did that in Mortal Kombat when they did it on the Super NES, Mortal Kombat.
Mm-hmm.
The blood was like kind of gray, so it wasn't quite realistic.
This is blood in Doom.
No, it is?
Yeah, it's totally blood.
They didn't change it up?
And I mean, the world where, hell kind of invades, you're on Mars, and it kind of takes over the environment, and it's like the innards of some beast, and it's all wet and shiny like the guts and organs, there's teeth, and
It kind of reminded me of the movie Doom. I know pretty much a majority of it was but that last little bit
where it looked like gameplay.
It looked like gameplay.
It went to first-person shooter mode, and you were seeing it from the character's perspective. And then it had that music. You're like, well, why did they just make the whole movie like this?
I thought that part was cool. I could deal with that. And then of course when they were in that, I guess, a part of the facility where they put up a shield thing, and one of the monsters made it halfway through, and then the shield came on, and that part was kind of interesting.
Yeah. So, they don't need to make a Doom movie. They just really don't. So, I have fond memories of playing the original Doom and Doom 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish I could go back and do that. So I know there's emulators, and I know there's online flash games, and it's just not the same. They're saying, oh, well, you can download this. No, you can't, because it never works. So I just wish I had a little standalone, non-connected Windows XP laptop or desktop, so I could just play old school things on it, like my old Mahjong and my Windows Entertainment Pack.
Do you have any of that software still? I don't know. You do?
Yeah, I do. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't
on
think
CD.
I don't think it'd be very hard to find you a laptop that has XP on it, or even
I had a little one here somewhere. So
I mean, I don't know. I guess we could look into that. I know the current thing with you right now is we got to get you upgraded.
As long as it's never upgraded or
upgrade
updated.
Your computer to Windows 10 Professional.
Yes, Windows 10 Home is the paranoid lockdown version, and I am hating it. Can't see our own internal stuff here in our own network. So,
but yeah, we'll get you squared away on that. What else you got over there, Solana?
Well, I didn't know whether. I think I'm going to save these two for the show because they're kind of relevant because they have a Facebook.
Next.
So, classic TV Robin gets a gritty Titans trailer mashup. So, I guess DC's trying to crank up and get their stuff out there.
I'm not buying it. I am not buying DC streaming service.
Okay.
Granted,
well, then don't you do it.
Since we have Hulu, I think Hulu, you have to pay a little extra, and you'll get the Disney streaming service along with that once they get that all in order. Speaking of Disney stuff, Ant-Man and the Wasp will be the last movie that goes to Netflix. Then after that, they all will go to to Hulu. So yeah, no more. But as far as like the Marvel, like Luke Cage and Daredevil and all that will remain on Netflix. It's not going to go anywhere. So that's a plus side because of those who invested their time in these shows. They don't have to worry about, okay, I got to go over here and buy the subscription, blah, blah, blah. But as far as money is concerned, your best value is to go the Hulu route versus the DC subscription service. I'm sorry, but I've not been impressed with Disney. Let me get my stuff together. I have not been impressed with the DC Universe stuff. The only thing, and I think you agree with me, Surlana, that has been halfway decent and beyond decent has been Wonder Woman.
It's beyond decent.
Yeah.
It's the only redeeming thing they have.
Yeah, I mean, Batfleck and
Bat flag.
Yeah.
Bat flag.
It's hard. I kind of like Cavill as far as Superman is concerned. I mean, but there's some people that are not thrilled with him. I like the new Flash. He's kind of all right, but I just don't have a solid, good feeling like I do with the Marvel universe right now. And now that we've got X-Men might be coming down the pipe and all these other properties.
I feel like DC had the opportunity to be like Marvel, but they just missed it completely.
They squandered it. They had the opportunity, and what happened was they tried to ramp it up right after the Batman stuff that they had put out, and they kind of failed. I mean, I can't tell you how many people have just said, Spaceboy, what would be really cool is if they would have a Justice League movie out there. And, they just failed to do it. And then when they found that Marvel was doing so well, they tried to fastly put everything together, and that's where they failed. They didn't have a Kevin Feige. I
don't know how to pronounce his last name either, to tell you the truth.
Anyway, Kevin from, down the street, he's making some moolah for Marvel. And, so they didn't have a guy like Kevin. And so the thing is, that's why I believe the DC Universe is in pretty bad shape. Now, the DC Universe on TV, like Arrow and Flash and all that, did you just eat like a crap sandwich over there or something?
What?
Because, when I start going down this list of DC stuff on TV, is like...
No, I'm looking at something else.
Okay. Well, it concerned me. You should stop looking at Dr. Popper Pimple while we're doing the show.
No, I'm looking at fan drawings of...
Okay, stop that. I'm
fan art.
Stop it. Anyway, so my end of my discussion is that DC is really sucking, cheese balls, and Marvel is making it happen.
Did you know that Sony has movie rights to 900 Marvel characters?
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that. I thought it was just Spider-Man.
And Venom is one of them. I know you're not thrilled with Venom.
I don't know anything about Venom, and I'm not really
a lot
interested.
of people are interested in seeing Venom, and it's going to be interesting to see how Sony kind of extends the Marvel universe and how it connects or doesn't connect with Disney's Marvel. So anyway, what else you got over there? There's that sourpuss look on your face. I mean, you need to stop whatever you're looking at.
No, it's just that they keep... I mean, it's like James Gunn is every third article.
Oh, I see.
And I'm like, how could there be more...
That's the explosion right now, is because of these pictures, that are out there. It's like there was a lot of people that said, hey, like me, who said, give him a chance. And now these pictures come out and they're like, holy smokes, I cannot believe I put my rear on the line for this guy, to say, let's give him a chance.
Are you looking forward to Captain Marvel?
Oh, yeah. Up? Well, it'll be interesting because it takes place in the past. And, some of the de-aging that we've seen with Michael Douglas in the original Ant-Man is being used for Captain Marvel, where, you have... Nick Fury is going to be de-aged. Even Coulson's going to be in it.
They did it to Kurt Russell.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Kurt Russell was awesome. I mean, he looked
They actually
great.
talked about how they did it. Mm-hmm. They had a guy dressed as him that looked just like him, a young guy, mm-hmm. and they took his skin off digitally and stuck it on Kurt.
Right.
And it was like, oh.
So, I mean, it's going to be in the past, in the 90s, and we learn about Captain Marvel and... ultimately, where's she been all this time? I think that's the ultimate question. And she's supposedly one of the strongest Marvel characters. So, she's coming and she's going to do battle with Thanos, and we'll see how all that goes down. And, I'm just, that movie and, what is it, the Fourth Avengers? I mean, those two movies are just, I'm jonesing.
Yeah, the next Avengers, I'm like, oh, man, How are they going to get out of this mess?
Exactly. I mean, this is going to be some great stuff to watch, and so...
We've got to get on board with, Better Call Saul, because it started back. Mm-hmm. We finally saw the first Venture Brothers, Season 7, Episode 1, and it's just been so long. I just felt like I've lost touch with that show. But then I watched it, like, oh yeah, I remember all this now, and so it was great to see them again.
Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, Surlana, it looks like we're at the bottom of the hour, so let's go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, we'll be talking about fake news. That's right. All the good stuff posted for you to brainwash you. Don't touch that dial.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
This is author Jordan Root. You are listening to the Spaceboy Universe.
This is K28, and I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hi, y'all. This is Lori calling from Texas, and I love listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hey, this is Dave Cruz, host of Beyond the Strange, and you're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
This is Wendy. I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hey, y'all. This is Lorelai DeLille. I listen to Spaceboy Universe. Don't you? Tell your mom and them I said hi.
are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
All right. You know, Surlana's opening her notes, and, it's hard not to be affected by what we see on TV. We see it daily, and I'm talking about the news. It bombards us from left to right, and that is kind of a pun on the state of our union, that is the United States, that is. But, the fact is that it's hard not to trust the news these days, especially when things are being taken off, or when we see things on the news that everybody's got the same talking points. I think that we're in for a good talking about the news. Wouldn't you agree, Surlana?
I'm guessing you didn't have that prepared.
No, that last part, I'm sorry. It was like I was this fat guy trying to get across this finish line, and
I think I'm going to start
fell on my face.
I'm going to start writing you an introductory paragraph for every time we have a topic.
Well, I nailed the intro today, didn't I?
Yeah, you sounded like a YouTuber. Don't forget to click that button and subscribe. I'm like, oh, God. I don't want to be one of those people.
I didn't want to look at you when I did that part because, I knew you would go like, oh, my God, did you just go there? But to be honest with you, Surlana, people should go to our YouTube site and subscribe and click that bell so they'll get notified when there's new and exciting stuff up there ready to be listened to or watched.
You won't be bothered much. And okay, so I guess I'll just jump into this, right? So we're going to talk about the phenomenon of fake news. Now, here's the first thing I want to relate to all of you listening. While researching the topic of fake news is the amount of inaccuracies and blatant opinions I was reading that was supposed to be articles and scholarly pieces about fake news. So it's almost I was reading fake news about fake news in a way. Now, I'll get in. I'm not even going to talk about that right now because I do not want to go off on that tangent. I'll just get into that one later. Okay, so It got to the point where I don't want to live in this world anymore. And I'm pretty sure I felt that way before I did this research. But now, not only do we need to learn how to identify false news, but also sketchy research done by others that turns out to be an opinion and not researched data, not tested theory, and not from sources that are trusted and legitimate. Mm-hmm. So I had to wade through some crap to get to the other crap. So
that's well pointed. Can I interject a thing?
Oh yeah, let's stretch this out as long as we can.
Okay. No, the thing is that I was going through Facebook, like I'm always doing, just looking for content and to publish out there, and I came across this one, and I'm going to start this by saying that I'm hard whether it be Obama or Trump. And but I want to get the opinion from left to right,
You're
to
hard,
up to down.
What?
Okay, for being, if the fact fits, then it fits. The data is put out there that supports this about either one of them, George Bush. I mean, we can go back to any president. Then that's the kind of data that I'm going to be hard of them, left or right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Because they're an elected official.
And I apologize for saying, you know what I'm saying? Because I hate that phrase, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, so I come across this...
Sorry?
I come across this video from MSNBC, and this guy is being interviewed by one of their news reporters, and he's talking about the GDP and saying how Trump is like this president who's finally getting 5 percentage for the for the economy, and come to find out, and this woman says, the reporter, well, Obama did it at least 5 times. Well, I went to check on that information. There's a website that gives you statistical information, and come to find out, Obama had only achieved that 1 time. with a close second at 4.9%. And the rest of his data for his presidency lies between 0.9 to about 3, a little bit over 3%. So what she said was false.
But she might be counting on the fact that you're not going to bother to go look that up.
Yeah, because a lot of people, let's say, okay, so those on the right would actually look at that and say, well, that's not right. But I'm just too busy with my Twinkie in one hand and a Diet Coke in the other.
Is that a euphemism?
To care about anything. And then you've got those on the left who say, that's right, you give it to him, And when I'm watching this, this guy, I don't know if it was first time on TV or something. Maybe he was nervous or something. Just couldn't. He wasn't very articulate. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It was like that. So, that is the kind of information that bugs me, is that you have news people present, quote unquote, facts when they're not really facts. They haven't done their research. And
I'll get to something that really, it upset me so bad. I actually walked in here to try to talk to you, but you were busy doing something important, so I just walked away. So
yeah, I was composing music.
Yeah, I did not want to interrupt that.
Yeah, so I appreciate that, dear. You're sweet. I owe you one. Anyway, so the thing is, at the end of the day, is that I guess these reporters are at the mercy of their people that they have to give, feed it into their brain so they can spout it out in front of guests, or maybe she just jumped to a thing to make something up, just to make this guy look bad, which I have a problem with. I remember a time when news reporters, they presented the news. They weren't all news commentaries where they're
commentaries being comments and opinions, not news.
Exactly. I mean, it seems like everybody and their twice removed distant roommate's cousin that's on TV that's news related is creating their own opinion about the news instead of giving us the news. And quite frankly, I think hold on just a second here.
I'm trying to give you time to say everything you want to say.
Yeah, I appreciate that, because I'm going on a rant here, and
it kills time.
And it kills time, and people laugh at me at the end, I guess, because at some point I'll say a word that doesn't exist in the Human Dictionary or Webster's Dictionary. But the thing is, at the end of the day, is this that it frustrates me because I want to turn on the news, get the facts. I don't want your biased opinion one way or another, whether it be Obama or Trump. Or George Bush or Bill Clinton, or go down the list of presidents, going left to right. I don't really want your opinion. I just want to know that President X did this, or in the news today, the EPA reported this, or that's the kind of stuff I am looking for in a news report: honest, unbiased, straightforward, and so that's what I'm looking for, Surlana.
Okay.
I'm sure I'll have more as we continue on.
Yeah, I'm sure you will, because this is a hot topic, and everybody has probably an opinion and feeling about it, which is good. But just know the difference between an opinion and a fact. Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm going to get into this.
Okay.
What is fake news? What are we talking about when we say that term? The broadest definition that I found online was news stories that have no factual basis but are presented as news. Actually could be, this concept of fake news is actually old news. This has been around, this idea of fake news has been around forever. Ever heard of the National Enquirer, people? But fake news also makes assumptions about some kind of authentic or legitimate set of news practices. While fake news has always been present in our lives, recent research suggests it is now more popular than ever. And we'll talk about how this all came to be in our faces while we're talking about it. So a lot of fake news is fake websites, and they're financially motivated. And I'll get into how that comes into being in a bit. Now, please know that fake news and conspiracies are not the same thing. One is an outright lie false, and the other is a conjecture or theory. There is overlap, though, between these two. You can have a conspiracy become a fake news headline.
Mm-hmm.
Some people will treat them the same way. Now, I looked at one person's study into that subject, and their study showed that the internet did not make conspiracy thinking more common just because you could put more out there. In fact, they said theorizing conspiracies is on a decline, maybe because we can access information, factual information, libraries, trusted resources. We have things like Fact Check and Snopes.com. But before we get into the real nitty gritty, let's do a little, go back in time a little bit. To something you probably like.
Okay.
Do you recall a story that happened where a radio program duped a number of people into thinking that aliens were attacking and invading the countryside?
Well, that would be War of the Worlds with Orson Welles.
And it was nothing but really good acting on the part of Orson Welles. Mm-hmm. Now, was that fake news?
Well, in full disclosure, a lot of people did not tune in the beginning, right, which gave a disclaimer that, hey, this is, the
That's
Mercury
what
radio.
Yeah, they said it wasn't what it was made out to be, looking back. It was only pockets of people here and there. It was not mass hysteria that the media wants us to believe now. So even coverage of this story could be fake news.
Well, the thing is that a lot of people tuned in late. And so they were caught in where they'd have these, interstitials, and then there would be breaks of music, and so a lot of people were caught up in the emotion of the quote unquote alien invasion, and so I think Orson Welles got a lot of flack from that, from I guess the government for doing the thing.
Well, radio was really coming into its own. Radio was a big thing. It was the largest media of the time before TV hit in the 50s. Is that right?
Going back
maybe
even prior to that.
Well, it wasn't like in every home, but the radio was powerful. It's big. It's like what the internet has become. It took place of radio. So Wells had made an admirable demonstration about the power of radio. It showed the danger of handing control of the airwaves over to the state, actually. Now, back then, this columnist, Dorothy Thompson, wrote, I'm going to quote her, this is pretty interesting. She wrote, "No political body must ever, under any circumstances, obtain a monopoly of the radio. The greatest organizers of mass hysterias and the mass delusions today are states using the radio to excite terrors, incite hatreds, and inflame the masses." Wow. Should we just insert the word internet or Twitter or Facebook there? Would it work?
Well, yeah, because, just because it's the past, there's a different type of media that we're looking at,
Isn't this fascinating? Looking back. Radio's, and then now it's TV, now it's this. It's always going to be something, isn't it? It's always going to be something. Now, I want to read this other quote to you because it's really interesting. This is from the New York Daily News, declared a few years ago. They wrote this: "It's official. America is becoming a conspiratocracy. Conspiracies have never spread this swiftly across the country. They have never lodged this deeply in the American psyche, and they have never found as receptive an audience." I don't know if I believe that's true. It just seems like something's everywhere because we have such unlimited access to things now. It can come up as a ping on your phone. Hey, this so-and-so said this. It could be on your social media. It could be in your email. It could be on the news you watch on TV. It could be in your mailbox. Stuff is everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
You can't hide. So,
the internet has branched out like a nervous system, if you will. It touches everyone, whereas in the past, with radio, everybody not necessarily had a radio,
Right.
It was like
not everyone has the internet, believe it or not.
It's kind of like we went from horse buggy to space shuttle within 100 years.
Yeah, the leap from radio to internet.
Yeah, so, that comparison could be made with the internet. I mean, with
disseminating info, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The late 60s, the beginning of the ARPANET, and getting all the way up to where we're at now with the internet.
Mm-hmm. So, speaking of the internet, now I found this. The internet's to blame. No, it isn't. I found both sides of that argument. So, how did the idea of this fake news even get to be mainstream news? Well, yes, Virginia, it all started with a presidential election. And yeah, I'm sorry, we're going to have to go there. So Ms. Thompson said no political entity must ever, under any circumstances, attain a monopoly of social media. Well, he didn't get a monopoly of it, but it sure did feel like it, didn't it? Mm-hmm. So when candidate Trump used social media, mainly Twitter, as part of his campaign, that was his platform. I didn't think about this, but that was him. Instead of waiting to get behind that podium to have those debates, he just went straight to Twitter, nonstop. I don't think anybody had ever done that as running for president.
Well, I think Obama initially took advantage of Twitter and putting stuff out there.
But he did not post the kind of content.
Well,
not that I'm supporting.
Trump is a different character altogether.
He's very different.
He doesn't, have that. I mean, he's willing to just put it out there and let the chips fall, whether it be right or wrong. Mm-hmm. But I think that to many of his supporters, they champion that because we have not seen a president like that before.
But I'm saying he didn't wait around for televised debates or official forums.
No, he just would flat out
went for it.
Name calling, whatever, like
He's
him or hate him. But
he even had here's the top 10 fake news sources. He did it himself.
He's been very effective when it comes to Twitter, and like I said,
he knew how to work it.
Yeah, he knew how to work it.
Isn't he over 60?
I think so. Yeah.
He's a man over 60 that knows how to work social media. I'll give him kudos for that because my father can't do it, or he doesn't want to, or he doesn't have access to the internet right now, which is kind of a blessing. I'll just say it.
And in a lot of weird ways, he mirrors Reagan in the sense that Reagan was the great communicator.
God, you imagine Reagan on social media.
And so,
wow.
Yeah, it probably would have been pretty interesting to see Reagan.
See, I was a kid / preteen during the Reagan era, so I was aware, but I didn't care. I was a kid, mm-hmm. But I remember that era.
But Trump is very effective. He's like the new age media communicator. He's effective with what he does. Well, like I said, right or wrong, he's still very effective in communicating.
Well, so it was with his presidential campaign mm-hmm. that we started to hear about fake news.
Right.
Well, the thing is, people are people, right? So, there's some devious people out there. There's people who want to make a buck. Now, reason this got in our faces is not just because of what Trump tweeted, and he actually went after news media. Mm-hmm. People are capitalizing on the fact Trump was a hot topic, right? He's trending online, right? They're actually putting in search terms about him, right? So they would go and create websites, or they would have sections where they would create these fake headlines for you to click on as clickbait to bring you to their sites. And why do they want to bring you to the site? Because when you land on that site, it registers as a page visit, and they're probably got ads on that page. And if you land on that page, that's a page view, and it's revenue for those ads, and they're making money. Now, clickbait, I want to make sure I describe what that is in case you're not familiar. I want to give you the definition, and I loaded it from TechCrunch.com. Mm-hmm. Clickbaiting is the intentional act of overpromising or otherwise misrepresenting in a headline, on social media, or in an image, or some combination of what you're going to find when you read a story. Currently, clickbait is often characterized by wording like, "You won't believe this," or "Wait till you see what happens next," or "What happened next will shock you," or other unverifiable assertions, desperate attempt to spark your curiosity into a click. Now, I have clicked on things that say that because I knew what they're doing. I'm like, yeah, I got to see this. Yeah.
Well,
I get suckered into it, but for a different reason.
Some of my other favorites are, or at least one of them is the picture that has a circle on something in the picture that, like, okay, what are they circling? What is this? I've got to click to find out what this is all about. Aggravating.
Well, and the TechCrunch goes on to say, well, why do they do this? Is what I've just told you. 2 words, page views. Most sites use traffic numbers like page views or unique visitors. This is all on your analytics for your web page to bill advertisers and measure their general success. Like, we had 4,000 visitors today, so that's 4,000 people who saw your ad on my page, so pay up, so whatever. So that is why there is fake news, at least on the internet and in social media. Now, so people would create fake news stories about Trump because they knew people were hopped up one way or another, emotional one way or another. And some of these stories were overwhelmingly pro-Trump, but fake. Whoppers like, Pope Francis shocks world, endorses Donald Trump for president. Pizzagate was another one. Many thought this was the internet's fault for devaluing the truth because there's no way to stop people from doing it. There's no way to filter it out. There's no way to fact check it automatically. And I will get into AI later about that. But right now, the whole internet, social media is in a post-truth world. And we'll get into that after the break.
Hey, well, that's perfect timing, Surlana. Man, I couldn't have done it better myself. You're listening to Spaceboy Universe. I'm Spaceboy and she's Surlana, and we'll be right back after this.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
Hey, Surlana!
What?
If Spaceboy Universe was cheese, would you eat it? Come on now, it's a simple question.
Maybe?
SpaceboyUniverse.com.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
All right. If you detect a little change in my voice, don't worry, I'm not dead.
You made a good attempt at it, though. This week, he's not bleeding to death, he's choking to death.
I was drinking some water right during the break, and it went down the wrong way.
He's just talented like that. But I did not laugh. I actually went over there and beat him on his back to help him out, and we worked through it.
All right. So now that we're back, did you want to pick up where we were last talking?
So we're talking about fake news. Well, fake news exists in this world. That is, we're not living in this world called the post-truth world, post-truth society, where the truth, facts, and evidence don't matter anymore. It's, I've seen this happen to me personally, where, okay, you said this, I'm like, I didn't say that. Doesn't matter, I don't like you anymore. Like, okay, shame, you didn't stop to ask what I meant by that. Did I really mean this? No. This is how I feel and what I believe. Doesn't matter what you actually did or said. Okay. That's the world we live in. And this happens on the internet. This happens on social media. It doesn't matter what the facts is, like Chris Hardwick. I told you we'd bring that up again. James Gunn. James Gunn, okay, he had some tweets. That's something, that's evidence, but we don't know what that means. Oh, he attended this party. Well, that's not looking good, So I get what they would, But with Chris, he was tried by the media and other people without facts looking into it. He didn't go into a legal system and get something. So he got thrown under a bus because we live in this world like, oh my gosh, he might have done it. He might have done it. So let's get rid of him now. Now we're in the part where you don't have to have done anything wrong. You just have to have a different opinion about something, and they want to throw you off Twitter. This is not a world I want to live in anymore. And in fact, it's probably getting to the point where I probably shouldn't even be doing this broadcast because it could alienate tons of people. That's sad, but this is the world we live in. That's why I'm very careful on social media. I don't post my personal opinions about important topics. I will go off on a rant about SharePoint because I deal with that at work, and I'm sorry, but that's an idiotic program. It's front page with fancy coding. That's all that is. And, I've been having some, depressing times. And, I might get a little dark, but otherwise I don't give you my political opinion. I don't talk about religion because I know those are hot button topics. And the other thing I wonder myself is if you're on something like Facebook and you've got your privacy settings to where only friends and friends of friends can see your posts, and you're posting your opinion about stuff like this, who is that for? If your friends and family already know the way you think, and I don't get it. That's fine if you do it, but I just don't get it. It just seems like some people like to poke the bear, maybe, but there's relationships and families that have broken apart over opinions posted on social media. So that's one of the main reasons I don't do it, because you can misconstrue things just by seeing words on a screen. You don't know the feeling, the intent behind it. It's just better to talk face to face or over the phone where you can get it all out there. But that isn't the world we live in, apparently. So I'm just checking on my husband. Hold on. Things good? Okay. So we are in this post-truth world where facts and reason are not important. Only passion and opinion. And the first one to get their opinion out there and make the most noise, get the most attention, the most follows, the most retweets, is the one that wins. Now, I read some research that said the idea that social media posts or a web page article can change a person's viewpoint is dubious. I kind of believe that, but also there's kind of some evidence the other way. So this research I read says people are not easily convinced by new information. A conspiracy theory, there was an experiment, excuse me, I'm hitting the wrong line here. There was an experiment published in 2016 where subjects were given some information, just some information, and it was actually a conspiracy theory involving the media. Now, this is a quote. We found that people who already believed that the media was conspiring against them were not affected by new information. They already believed it. The new info would not do much to convince them more. The people not inclined to buy into the conspiracy were not affected either. In fact, the only people we could get to believe in our media conspiracy were those who had no inclination to believe or not believe in the first place, which are very few people. Those are the people who get put on jury duty because they so don't know. It also assumes that most people access fake news and conspiracy only on the web. Actually, fake news and conspiracies come more from mainstream sources because they're getting it from dubious places. So it may seem like we have a lot of fake news like it's an epidemic, but it's something that's been with us forever. It just feels like it's just out there more since 2016, because we just have more ways of getting that info to us. Now, the New York Times is currently ranked 21st in the U.S. for website traffic, according to analytics company Alexa, no affiliation, I guess, with Amazon. InfoWars, the infamous InfoWars, is the most popular conspiracy website, ranks at number 318. People do go to the internet for all sorts of things. Getting fake news is the bottom of the list. Now, so it's safe to say we don't go looking for fake news. It just sort of happens organically, maybe, you know? It gets presented to us.
Well, I think that there is people who fall...
You be okay? Do you need this? Get you something more. This will clean your pipes. Am I still on? Okay. So we don't go looking for it. It comes to us. Does anybody out there have a Facebook account? That's how it's getting to you. Or one of the ways. Sorry, I'm grabbing my drink back from Spaceboy.
I apologize.
He's gotten messed up.
For being a bonehead. I forgot what point I was going to make.
Well, let me skip through this, and you can rebut on it.
Okay.
Most of our misinformation comes from your Uncle Ted, who doesn't bother to fact check the things he's sharing on social media. Bless his heart. So these headlines and snippets and links can impact your views if you don't stop to, really investigate it. But mostly, it's your views about the person posting it sometimes. So fake news you see passively is somewhat shaped by the messages you don't already agree with. Giving you time to respond if you'd like.
No, I was...
Are you back?
I'm here. So, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought here, so...
How fake news gets to you through, Facebook and sharing misinformation and...
Well, the thing is that Facebook has gotten very aggressive on what it posts. Trying to cut down. But they recently, took Alex Jones off of Facebook. What's the head shake over there?
Just because they have a different opinion, and maybe they, I don't think you should just start taking people off because of a mob mentality says, oh, they're not good or they're fake.
Just like the Disney thing, Facebook can run its company and they can decide.
Yeah, it's a private company.
It's a private company. They can allow whatever. But
they can do what they want.
The reality of the situation is that, the social media in general seems to be going left of center. And when I say that, politics-wise, now say what you want about Alex Jones. I don't agree with a lot of the stuff he says, but I listen to him because he's got a big bullhorn,
big mouth.
Well, some would say that too. But I listen to what he says, and just like what I've always said since the beginning of this program, going back, that I listen to all opinions. I watch MSNBC, I watch Fox, I watch just anything I can get myself on news, because at the end of the day, I have to boil down, if you will, like a crucible of all this information and try to get an idea of what's accurate and what's not.
You've said that many times, but let's say, how would you say to this when somebody comes to you and says, "Spaceboy, ain't nobody got time for that"? What would you say?
Well, you need to make time, because if you don't, then, going back to like at the beginning of this program when I was talking about McCarthyism, we all had the best intentions when we were going down after World War II.
Is that under President McCarthy?
Now you made me put me on the spot. I can't remember which.
I'll look it up real quick.
Yeah, I think it's Eisenhower.
But
you had a senator who basically was saying, "I've got a paper right here, and a list of names of people that are communists." And
Senator McCarthy.
Yeah,
okay.
Senator McCarthy.
Sorry.
Yeah, and during the 50s, are you looking that up or?
Yeah, 50 to 54.
Yeah, so I think that puts it about Eisenhower's time.
It's early post World War II.
Ultimately, there were a brave few people that said enough is enough. We're not going to be accused anymore of being a communist, and we shouldn't have to live in fear. And it's kind of like history is kind of repeating itself now, Surlana.
Yes.
You have,
They're on a witch hunt for a different kind.
You can't not be on social media and not come across people that are, of an opinion, and if your opinion doesn't strike well with them, they call you names. They ostracate you, and they
new word, ostracation. Write it down, someone.
It was bound to happen anyway. So the point I'm trying to make is that we live at a time when there are people that are willing to persecute you just because your opinion doesn't match with theirs, and it doesn't matter if you're right. You're still wrong in their eyes, and it's almost to a point where
you can put the evidence in front of them. Don't care. It's emotions now.
It's running off of emotions, exactly.
Maybe the Vulcans had it right. Maybe this happened to their culture, and they're like, "Dang it, let's just suppress all emotions and just focus on logic and truth." So, why are we even talking about fake news? As I asked you at the beginning of this program, because it feels like it's more prevalent in interface than ever before since the 2016 election. Now, in fact, the term fake news was the most Googled phrase for November and December 2016 which led, ironically, to websites that sprouted up to talk about fake news that might have actually had fake news, but were just there to make money for advertising on the sites. There were no real value in the talk that went on about fake news on these fake websites. So the irony about fake news and fake news research and talking about it is just layered. What I discovered on my own. And every time I try to do decent research for any topic, I learn some kind of personal truth. So I don't know if you listeners get anything out of it. I don't know if anybody's listening, but at least I'm getting value from this. So
it's historical truth,
personal truth, or scientific truth. And if you can't stand up and tell the truth, you don't deserve to wear that uniform. We're still going to be Trekkies at heart. We could be over Star Wars, but there's something deeply embedded in us that won't let go of the good Star Trek. Now, I tried to stick to what I thought were credible sources researching this. I had the luxury of an online university library, so I thought scholarly articles posted in academic journals. What could be more legit? Because those have to get vetted to get posted. They don't just post Dr. So-and-so's, thesis. you have to, I mean, they go through a process most of the time. So I read this Dr. So-and-so's, I'm not even going to tell you his name because I don't want anybody to go after him. He's still out there and teaching. I took issue with this article. In fact, I didn't read the whole thing because I was like, this just killed it. Now, the statement this person wrote in their abstract, he wrote this: the ease and speed with which false news stories can spread online poses a threat to the efficient functioning of our democracy, a threat the government has a compelling interest in addressing. I don't like that. That says to me like there's a problem and the government needs to do something about it. Well, blank, blank, blank. We already got net neutrality. What much more do you repeal of that? Which more do you want? So this guy, I guess, wants some intervention for fake news. And I think this gentleman is clueless. And here's how he completely derailed me from reading anything further in his abstract. I don't think fake news is the government's worst problem that keeps them from functioning, by the way, but this is what actually stopped me from reading. A spine-tingling phrase in his abstract that began with, according to a BuzzFeed news study, and I went, nope, shut it down. Your argument is invalid.
4 out of 5 cats enjoy catnip.
We all know BuzzFeed is an authority on information, not. However, their rock-solid list of 10 most important cats on the internet, you can take that to the bank.
And you know what's got me? It's not just him that has brought.
You gonna be all right? Man, I can messed you up.
It did pretty much. It's not just him that has put that out there, but I've heard others quote BuzzFeed as a reputable news source. BuzzFeed is not a news source. It is an entertainment site that has information out there with some people of their, I guess you could say their, what do you call it? I don't want to call them reporters, but they're
social media
reporters, or it's
posters. They're just people who got hired to post things on the internet. That's
exactly
all it is. They're not journalists.
Some of them do have opinions.
Of course, they could be out of work.
And usually, they interject their opinions, just like when I was talking earlier about how news has gone to opinionated reporting versus factual reporting.
And who have we seen recently? They talked about this. No less a figure than PewDiePie himself.
Mm-hmm. And so this is where I have a problem with people sourcing news from something like BuzzFeed, or something on the equivalent of the Mary Sue, or just these.
Those are extremely leaning toward one side or the other.
And I want to make a point now, Surlana. It's not that we're trying to single out the left here,
but they're just everywhere.
But it seems that the majority of social media has gone left, and it's hard not to not see that as a fact, because it would be different if we saw,
and I'll tell you why that's important later,
saw social media where people were coming from a center point of view, or even a far right.
You're talking about fair and balanced,
and I'm not talking about Fox News.
Really any of
there, Fox is just in the hen house, just like some of these others. A fine example of this, Surlana, and this what gets my goat here as well, is that
no.
I know you love the goat. Is the Sinclair I guess it's media group, where they own a bunch of news stations,
right?
And so recently, fairly recently, there was a thing put out where all these, it showed one after another of these different news programs that are in the market, and they were repeating the same garbage that they had been fed, and just saying the same thing from New York all the way out to the West Coast. And
somebody
LA.
Typed up a headline and they all repeated it.
And they all repeated it, and it was a fine example of, if you believe and independent thought, then this is a fine example of where you should not be getting your news from, because they're just there to brainwash you to believe a certain thing. And which leads into, why should we believe in the truth in news? So, at the end of the day, you have the nation as a general, in general, that is, especially on social media, which tends to lean left. And we see that because not only do we see it in the things that are getting yanked off news feeds and Facebook, whether it be your Alex Jones, or whether it be your Glenn Becks, or whether it be your Bill O'Reillys, or any people like that might be center or right being pulled off, yet the general topic of people that are on social media, even though it's not very representative of everybody, is left-leaning. And it's hard not to deny that. And now, I've always said, and you could back me up on this, and I keep saying it through the program, is that it's important that we get opinions from different points of the spectrum. Because if we lie within one little area of the spectrum, we're only denying ourselves the truth, or the possibility of the truth of being out there.
That's like having both sides of the argument,
yes,
you're saying?
You have to have both sides of the argument, because it helps us grow. For example, we could be hitting ourselves against a brick wall on a particular subject and not growing as an individual. But when we have the diversity of different points of view, it opens our mind to thinking of new possibilities that we didn't think of before. And the way things are with news, that's the way it's reported, it only gives us a point of view that's narrow and may not be correct in its thinking. Well,
I think that butts up to the next little point here.
Cool.
Have you heard of this phrase, hyper-democratizing?
I think I have, yeah.
It's a word that came up in my research for fake news, so I had to go look it up, because it seemed like that was like record scratch. So here's what it means. Hyper-democratizing is a shift away from mediated checked republic, meaning checked meaning somebody holds it in check, checked republic that America's founders carefully crafted toward an impulsive, unleashed, direct democracy that's indulging the worst impulses of our extreme elements. To put it bluntly, we're increasingly ruled by an online mob, and it's a mob getting besieged with misinformation. That is from Politico.com, however you believe them to lean left, right, or center. Now, so it seems like we have the internet and social media. When I say internet, I'm going to include social media in that. Right. Serves as a way to propagate fake news. That's not its sole purpose, of course. It never has been. But in response to this, more fact-checking sites have sprung up. So the internet is also a place to go help you verify. It's not all bad, people. Such as Snopes.com, which I've been going to for years. It just seems sometimes that not everyone knows that these sites exist for you to help you out, or they don't bother to look at them. It just seems like people are so excited to share the latest, type of story online. It doesn't matter. The facts don't matter. In fact, there is such an atmosphere of hyper-criticism, hopefully I don't have to explain that one to you, online, that it's actually slowed down the development of conspiracy theories. We're going back to conspiracy theories again. There are websites that are fully fake, and I remember a scandal about a website not too long ago, and I can't remember the name of it, but it was a big scandal. And I remember seeing it, I'm like, that looks like a cool website. Of course, it isn't real. It looked really interesting, but it was totally false, and I wish I could remember the name of it. But there is no doubt that deciding for yourself what is real and what is fake can be tricky if you don't bother to do the research or know where to go to get help. So, and I'll talk about some tricks you can do. Now, it's difficult to combat when sites use algorithms and bots, that's computer programming, to deploy manipulated information to get our attention. To think of fake news as spam in your email. as soon as we come up with filters and programming to try to catch it, they come up with ways to get around the quote-unquote filters, the spammers. They used to do that too. Now, mainstream media can also be susceptible to fake news, and I think they might be the ones who are disseminating most of it, whether they know it or not. But you would think that they would have the money to have an intern to sit there and fact check for them and be trained or already know how to do it. So I'm not letting mainstream media off the hook when it comes to disseminating fake news. I will say that mainstream media news is about ratings and advertisement, and I don't think they're that devoted to facts anymore. Also, Snopes.com, and there's factcheck.org. And I think we're close to a hard break here, aren't we?
And we are, Surlana. So let's go ahead and take that break. I'll clear out my throat, maybe get back on the horse again. You're listening to Spaceboy Universe. I'm Spaceboy, she's Surlana, and we'll be right back.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
The epic battle begins this Friday. Direct from ringside at Laser Death Melt. It's Bot versus Bot in Galaxy's 2-ton weight championship, where your challenger, Good Bot, will face the reigning champion, Bad Bot. You're terminated. Reserve seating starting at $30. 2-drink minimum, where ladies don't get in free. This is an SBU production.
You're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
All right, a fascinating subject we're having tonight, and I hope everybody is clued in on that. Make sure to hashtag anything that your heart's desire to Twitter, and that's hashtag Space Cadets and hashtag SBU Universe. Surlana.
Yeah.
So you
back
were
to it.
Back
right?
to it. Yeah, let's get back to it.
All right. So apparently, I keep finding things like we're easily influenced by fake news or just anything. No, we're not. So, I'm seeing both sides of that argument, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I try to look into more scientific theory and psychology behind all this. So turns out, and stay with me here, I know theory's boring. There's a theory called agenda setting theory. And it has to do with what topics trend in the news and how that affects opinions of the audience. So this first thing this theory says is that the frequency in which news media mention and cover certain topics largely dictates what topics audiences think are important to society. That makes sense. If they keep talking about the car fire that happened down the street and they talk about it 8 times a day, then that must be real important, you think, because they just keep talking about it, right? If they don't talk about it, or no one's talking about it, then it must not be important, or we'll never know about it, right? Now, this isn't to say we blindly believe whatever we're told, not that some people don't, but let's say the media are going on and on about the economy in the news today. Well, we, the audience, must think this is an important topic because they're bothering to cover it. But we can still maintain different opinions about the topic. So that makes me question if the media is setting that agenda to talk about the economy for some reason. It's just a thought I wonder about. But you can see now how a fake news topic can have that same impact if it gets shared and shared and shared and shared and shared and in your face, and you see it 8 times a day from different sources. You think, well, this must be important or true. So you can see how there's a psychology behind everything you see. And again, the reason why it keeps happening is because there's money to be made. And it's all about the internet. So creators of fake news found they could capture so much interest they could make money off fake news through automated advertising that rewards high traffic to their websites. Again, this is web stuff. Now, they talked, I think NPR interviewed a man who ran a string of fake news sites from the Los Angeles suburbs. He told NPR he made between 10 and 30 grand a month off of fake news websites.
Mm-hmm.
So this computer science student in the former Soviet Republic of Georgia told the New York Times that creating a new website and filling it with both real and fake stories that flattered Trump was a gold mine. So maybe that's why people thought Russia helped him win, is because they jumped in on an opportunity to make money off of pro-Trump news. That could be true. Who knows? Mm-hmm. So it's not a surprise to us that partisan media often presents stories in a way to advance certain political agendas, which is 1, not fair, 2, not balanced, and 3, or objective. And they've been doing it since people could speak words. It's nothing new. Now, this is a part that actually got me up out of my seat to come see you, but you were like, I was like, okay, I can't bother you. Now, I read this. When Trump won, Democrats blamed fake news for this outcome. So this is why we're talking about this. This is how it started. This is how the story goes that I read. Trump got elected because Americans were exposed to inaccurate information. And if only we had had the right information from the right people, voters would have made better decisions. Okay, so this has never, ever, ever come up before in any other election. Bad info leading to bad decisions. I don't understand that logic. Is that even logic? I just like, well, people listen to a lot of, garbage and they liked it.
I think a lot of people were like, how can Trump win? I mean, it just seems so improbable of him winning.
Well, I liken it to the trend in politics. Okay, we had a Republican for 2 years. Okay, that didn't work out. Let's get this Democrat in. Okay, this is working for 2 years. Well, we can't have him again because, there's a limit. So let's go, and maybe he didn't work out so well like we thought. Mm-hmm. Now let's go back to it seems like it goes back and forth, Republican, Democrat, and as we've learned, it doesn't matter who's in charge. It's the shadow government that's in charge. That's your word. So this all got pretty heated once they started accusing the Russians of getting involved. And of course, who gets right in the crosshairs of all this? Facebook. Mm-hmm. They were looking for a way to shake this off, all this fake news getting shared around. Now, I don't know that Facebook was so much to blame. It's like they just provided a platform while we danced to some funky music. Hope that doesn't get us copyright striked.
God, I'm going to, like in that program where that guy throws his phone in the middle of a program. And yeah. Anyway, I apologize about that, crappy stuff your phone does when it's inconvenient.
Well, so Facebook just provides a platform. They don't necessarily have to police what their users put on there if they're there now. So I read this. Once an inaccuracy gets lodged in a person's head, it can be difficult to dislodge. Mm-hmm. Huh? I don't know. This is from two political scientists that say, once you present the accurate information, people will refuse to change their incorrect beliefs and will in some cases double down on their beliefs. It's called the backfire effect. Now, I guess maybe this is what the Democrats were thinking when it's like, oh, we had the wrong information. Mm-hmm. I don't know. That both of those statements inflame me, and I don't even really know. So I have these sources telling me just because you present a person with information doesn't mean they're going to believe it or change their opinion. And these guys say, no, if I give you the wrong information, then tell you the right information, you're still going to be a stubborn poo-poo head about it. So, anyway, I don't like either one of those statements because I just don't. They contradict, and I don't know. It bugs me. So, fake news on social media used to be fairly easy to spot because it was put together by somebody who was using weird fonts, odd-looking links, poor language and grammar, spellings, links to giveaways, and you're like, oh, well, that's obviously not legit. But like spammers in your email, fake news creators learned how to look and sound legit. Again, fake news topics appeared once we started into the 2016 U.S. presidential election. And these sites and these posts were shared over and over again because these headlines were either alarming or amusing, depending on how you believed, mm-hmm. or they confirmed your already held beliefs, or they scared you to death. So it didn't need to be true to be popular or shared. It seemed to fulfill something we needed, I guess. Now, most share fake news stories never having read the article that they're linked to, if they're linked to something.
Right.
And the article they're sharing, that exaggerates the problems. Now, this is what I've been saying for months on now. A story does not have to be real / truthful to have an impact on people. Did Pope Francis endorse Donald Trump? No, but that did not stop the story from appearing on social media and spreading widely. Now, here's some things that social media is accountable for. Fake news is also tied up with big data. Now, big data is research on us, how you and I use and interact with social media. Are we clicking on that link? Are we sharing that link? Are we faving that link? Are we retweeting that link? Are we loving it? What we share and what we click on, especially links and advertisers, that all gets tracked and put somewhere and talked about and discussed and used and stored. Now, the use of this big data about social media and in the internet we use can result in faulty assumptions and create false impressions about what groups or which people like this or do not like that, right? Manipulators of big data can nudge people to influence their actions based on the big data they have collected. Have you ever clicked on a story and liked it because it amused you, even though you knew it was stupid? Like, oh, that's just stupid. I gotta like that, you know. And so that sends the wrong signal to big data. You know, you liked it for reasons they don't know. You know, so this is why you have a social media outlet like Facebook taking out an ad on national television about its new dedication to protecting us and our data online. Well, stop taking it from us in the first place, you goobers. They just had a scandal large enough about using our data to bring the CEO to a hearing before Congress. Anybody remember that, when the robot got up there and talked to Congress? So that's another problem. We're being manipulated by our own activities and preferences online, and it adds to the problem. And one of these manipulated items is news or information tailored to our way of thinking or persuading us to think a different way that is not fair, factual, or balanced. I want to point that out. But that doesn't seem to be the focus anymore. It's all about money, as it's always been since we've been alive. So counting clicks has become one of the features of social media that determines how popular and important a topic is. So that's why something trends, because people are clicking on it, searching it, talking about it, not necessarily trying to get the facts. It's just there, and they're sharing. Featuring and repeating these topics based solely on clicks is one of the reasons these bots, these little pieces of program code, are able to manipulate what is perceived as popular and important. So if it's about what color of tie Trump is wearing, and that's what everybody shares all day, that's the trending, that's the thing that's important. You know, there could be the house next to you could be on fire, but you'll never know about it because this is the trending topic as far as news, right? These little bots, and I say bots, but they're program code, they disseminate information to large numbers of people because it's computer programming. Human interaction with any piece of information is usually very brief, like a click or a like, before a person passes that information along to others. The number of shares result in large numbers of clicks, which registers and pushes the bot supplied information into the trending category. Even if the information is untrue and inaccurate, that's not the issue. It is just, this is how many clicks this topic got. Information that's trending is considered important because everybody's talking about it. What are they saying? That don't matter. These, as I like to call them, bad bots, are used to spam and mine our data or to help manipulate public opinion, which is not fair, balanced, or factual. I'm going to keep hammering that home till you get it. And it gets worse. On social media, bots can collect information that might be of interest to you using keywords, hashtags. And that little bot isn't interested in the truth of what it finds. It's just matching data. It's algorithms. These 0011s are matching these 0011s, right? Other kind of bots on social media or algorithms produce content and interact with us on social media, trying to emulate our own online behaviors to help perfect their behavior. This is AI going to work. They can use spam, malware, misinformation to slander or just add more noise to the conversation. They have political bots that are programmed for political content to artificially inflate support of a candidate or disparage the other party, also to get things trending. And they go beyond ethical boundaries of political polling, and they bombard voters with distorted or false statements to manufacture negative attitudes because it's all about mudslinging. Well, they've taken the mudslinging from the podium to programming. And that's something.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are Google and Facebook doing about fake news? Ha ha ha. Well, Facebook is trying to protect itself with bots. Let's use the problem as a solution. It's like fighting an infection with white blood cells. And of course, Google says it's going to increase its regulation of advertising and linked to websites. Oh, I bet that'll make YouTube so happy. Facebook is providing a feature for fact-checking in parts of Europe. Way to go, Europe. Google Digital News Initiative is creating programs to help users verify information themselves with something called FactMata, F-A-C-T-M-A-T-A. But how can these guys, big as they are, Facebook and Google, how can they keep up with the volume of links, headlines, articles, and websites and social media posts? How can they do it? There's more internet than there are people, I suppose. These two giants, Google and Facebook, frame our internet experience for the most part. I mean, if you don't have Facebook, you don't go into it, then it doesn't affect you. But I bet you've gone to YouTube or you've Googled something. So it's easy to see these two as authority or gatekeepers. Now, they face criticism on not doing their part for not stopping fake news. 2016, this is embarrassing because I've been an adult a long time. I've been a voter for a long time because I'm getting old. 2016 was the first presidential election I actually paid full attention to from beginning to end. I paid attention closely, and yes, I laughed the whole time. It was like watching the old school WWE wrestling matches with the fake taunts and the chest beating and the chair throwing. In fact, Trump made appearances back in the day on wrestling shows.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. Yeah.
So it's probably like home to him. That's probably why he did so well, as he's already used to this. He's used to the reality TV mentality of people. He's used to the fake wrestling and, putting on fake stuff. So, it tickled me, and that's probably not good to me to do, but I mean, So here we are in this post-truth world with fake news, which is nothing new. So somehow he made all that work in his favor. I don't know if you should damn a person if you know how to work the system. So he already knew how to play to the crowd. Now, is trolling a political tool now? Memes, parodies, whatnot is part of the campaign? It can be.
Mm-hmm.
And you will keep seeing the term post-truth if you keep on the internet long enough. And I'm just saying, we live in a time where the truth's not important and necessary. And I've seen this on a personal level, which I've talked about. It just jump to a conclusion that you've come to on your own, and that's the truth you believe. It's all about personal truth, I guess. It's what a time to be alive. I don't want to live on this world anymore. The post-truth world is the social media world. That's my opinion. I never knew before the internet. I never knew how a person was feeling before the internet. Before the internet, I would have to walk up to a person or pick up a phone and go, how are you feeling? What do you think about this? Observe them personally. Now I get it every day and I don't care what they're thinking.
Would it be of your opinion that basically the internet provides a way to hide? In other words, you're not...
You can be honest if you want to.
You're not truly interacting with people, on, you have the freedom to like.
You could be interacting with a bot. You never know. I get what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
But to think, the radio was once called the most powerful instrument of social education the world has ever seen. But of course, that was the biggest technology at one time. Of course, that was an idealized view of radio just before networks and advertisers took it over. Now, let's talk about propaganda. Is propaganda fake news?
Well, let me take a step back here for a second. It's media has always been in that situation where they want to make a profit out of it. And you saw it with radio, and now you see it today with internet, with clicks and clickbait and all this other stuff.
It makes money.
Yes.
But it made me think about, radio and the propaganda they would put on the radio just for the enemy to hear, and then the propaganda they would put for us to hear to like buy bonds, and things like, keep your whistle clean, you'll get the syphilis, and that's a win for Hitler.
Remember to buy war bonds, brought to you by Procter & Gamble. Stuff like that.
So is that's not to say fake news. I mean, propaganda is its own thing, but still, that's not factual information. Hitler's not going to win because you didn't shower today. I mean, So what's that all about?
But what it is
I get what they were trying to do.
It's mind conditioning to believe that
your sacrifices,
your sacrifices
something.
all add up to the greater good.
It probably did. It probably did in some circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
But it isn't just fake news that's out there, or no news at all. It's rather that a time when, there was a time on Facebook when they had that trending sidebar feature that would choose stories to feature for you on your Facebook homepage when you landed on it.
Mm-hmm.
The claim was that Facebook was suppressing conservative right-wing news stories for a period of time. So Facebook went and fired all those developers who made that piece of code. Problem solved?
Right.
They retooled it. And then next thing you know, good old Zuck is facing the music for it by denying they ever did it.
Even fairly recently, somebody had posted parts of the Constitution.
Yes, and they blocked it.
And they blocked it. The Constitution of all things. And they blocked it as hate speech.
I think they did that on purpose to see what it would happen, and good for them.
Well, it is what it is. But speaking of what it is time to take the top of the hour break, Surlana. And you're listening to Spaceboy and Surlana, and we appreciate you exploring the universe with us. So stay right there, and we'll be right back.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
Greetings, Space Cadets. Let's see what's in the sky tonight in the Spaceboy Universe. Tonight, in the eastern sky, we have Spaceboy Universe rising above the horizon in glorious splendor. And in the west, we can see Surlanus Majoris, which is visible at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, just below the K28 belt. So keep your eyes on the sky and listen to Spaceboy Universe.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
Yes, we are Spaceboy and Surlana. I put you on the spot, didn't I?
Well, before we get back into it, I want to report Spaceboy's fine, and his boo-boo on his forehead that was bleeding somewhat profusely last week is looking good. It's really healing nicely.
Can I quote Elsa real quick? Just let it go.
That's what happened to me last week.
Yeah.
So, as we were talking before the break, poor Facebook. They seem to be in the crosshairs with all the fake news and these scandals and the data mining. So I kind of see their struggle. They provide us this platform, and then they would step away from it, let them do their thing. And we probably start messing it up too. But, if they're going in there and making bots to see what we're doing so they can, get the advertisers on there and more targeted, then that is their side fault. Now, when it comes to fake news, what should they do? Suppress it all, let it all hang out, and don't worry about it, block it, report it? They seem to have tried, as we've discussed, they've tried it all, and they don't seem to be able to win. And because Facebook has become an increasingly important venue for activists, you could argue Twitter too, activists who document things like police abuse or toppling a government that's been unfair. Many have, wasn't like the Arab Spring all put on social media. Many of them have complained that overzealous censors routinely block their posts when they're trying to show you what's really happening, at some hot spot, So what's the solution, poor things? Well, AI can save us. That is artificial intelligence. And, of course, when I say bots, that's what I'm talking about. Artificial intelligence was computer programming into little bots. So they're saying AI bots can help us find fake news. Now, this is going to get hilarious. But that's all well and good. But how can AI understand irony, nuance, context, and sarcasm?
Satire, too.
Well, good for you. We don't actually mean that. What is fake, false, lies, news, and what is someone's commentary about it? Will it be able to determine this? Can we still see someone's commentary about it? If you're going to block the fake news, you know what I'm saying? How will an algorithm figure that out? Now, here's the quote that I really like. Kathy O'Neill is a data scientist and author of a book called Weapons of Math Destruction, How Big Data Increases Inequality and Threatens Democracy. She's not an AI optimist. Kathy says, the concept of a fact-checking algorithm, at least at first blush, is to compare a statement to what is known truth, she says. Since there is no artificial algorithmic model for truth, it's just not going to work. There is no truth we can hold this up against and say, this is what's true, check everything against this. Mm-hmm. It's too abstract a concept.
There's no metrics to judge that.
How do you build little robots to fact checks for truth when there's no standard model for truth? Unless, so here's what you can do as a person on your own to spot fake news.
And I just want to point out that Surlana just did this really cool, fake news, and just kind of like a...
That was just for you.
Captain Kirk looking,
Just Captain Crunch. How we are going to have to educate ourselves. And yes, I'm talking to all of you. You're going to have to stop what you're doing right now and learn to research and do your own filtering. I want you to be able to see something coming through to you on your social media and go, wait a minute, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. First, examine the author if you can find out who it is, the person who posted it, shared it, wrote it, or the sponsors of the post or link or headline. If this is an article about healthy eating and it's sponsored by McDonald's, maybe it's fake.
And let me answer to that real quick, Surlana, is that a lot of these times when you see these particular little squares that they're telling you about these, sometimes it'll say sponsored underneath. And so
if it's sponsored, I immediately go,
yeah, just like on Facebook.
What's the agenda?
There's a lot of sponsored things that you get into your news feed. And
if somebody paid you, I have to wonder about your motivations. Maybe, not always.
Well, some of the sponsored stuff is not too
it's not
terrible.
all bad.
Yeah, so, I mean, I still want that pillow that you can put your arm through.
I still want you to raise an eyebrow, though.
Yeah, but there's stuff out there that question, especially when it
question
comes
everything.
to question with boldness.
PSP challenge everything.
But the thing is that when you see it, I guess we're really applying it more to news.
Or headline you see something.
Sponsored.
Your Uncle Ted shares you something, and you know your Uncle Ted.
Right.
You're going to have to check this out. Do you know the source? Again, the article's author links any scientific. Does it link to any scientific data or facts? Is it from BuzzFeed? Is it from TMZ or BBC or CNN? Or UncleTed.com.
What is the UK site that
.co.uk?
Mail,
Daily Mail, something like that. I love that site. Personally.
Yeah, I do too. It's
I don't care. I don't go there for facts. I go there for fun.
I go there for trashy reading.
Well, they have a whole weird link section. I love it.
Not that I'm trying to call myself out or anything, but on the side you get half-clad women and stuff like that. Like, look who's lost 40 pounds and she's fitting into a bikini now.
Their weird links is usually salacious stuff,
right? Exactly.
Don't take your children over there.
Yeah.
Another thing to look for: look at the time and place that information was posted. The story. Does it say breaking news on it? That's a red flag. Is it linked to other factual data? Breaking news stories are usually eye-catching clickbait. So is it like they're capitalizing on the moment? Is it trending? Is it like a hot topic? Is it buzzy? Be aware of that. Now, consider if they're trying to evoke emotions in this story. If you go click it and it's a story, real news gives you facts, information without opinions, and not playing on your emotions or trying to sway you. So you're going to have to learn, is this somebody's opinion? Are they trying to get me to cry? Are they trying to get me to donate? Are they trying to give me a sob story? What is the point? Get good at spotting manipulated photos. Now, you're going to have to go educate yourself on that. They do have experts to look for get right in there and zoom in for pixel manipulation. Now, it's so easy to do. It's getting easy to fake videos. And as much as I need Adobe in my life, they're going to be the ones that are going to give us fake audio that's legitimate.
A lot of the technology that's out there now is almost studio quality stuff that you can make movies. It's almost the power of making your own movie is within your grasp, and it is so easy to fake a photo, to fake a video, and you have to kind of get a certain, like, for example, I know a lot of our audience have seen many of these UFO videos, and some of them are they're easy to do, and they're just, if you know how to spot it, you can say, yep, that is a fake. Beyond I don't need to be told that that's a fake. I mean, look at the shadowing, look at just the way it moves, and I mean, so you have to question these things. And just don't immediately take it for, okay, this is truth. I can't believe this. I'm seeing a UFO or I'm seeing an alien. Oh my God, this is so real. There's this one where they have an interview with an alien that's out there that looks really cool. But the reason why I kind of look at it as, well, this is not real, because it reminds me of the way the aliens moved in District 9, and you just come accustomed to, once you start just looking at it and getting into the groove of things, you can spot these things out pretty reasonably.
Fake news sites, like websites that, articles linked to these sites, they don't do a lot of updates. They don't go back and update their stories or, because they don't bother fact check or spell, So go back and see if you can find dates on things and look and see how long that article's been there. Try to just be aware of everything. And this last one I put in, are you getting all of your news from one or two or just three sources? Shame on you.
Exactly.
Shame on you.
You should be doing it the Spaceboy method.
Learn which medias and which sites lean which way, liberal, conservative, center, and look at them all. Get all the opinions, then draw your conclusions.
Don't get mad when you're watching all of this.
Yeah, and don't get mad when you're looking at all the different sites.
Yeah, I mean, because it's easy to get mad, but you need to be objective when you're listening to all different opinions. One, because an opinion might sway your way to thinking a certain way that you didn't think before, and you or not,
but reinforce your beliefs.
But at the end of the day, it's going to balance you out so that you hear what one side is saying versus another side, or opposite of what you might be thinking. At least you get to hear, and that kind of.
And yeah, I hear what things go against what I believe, and it does infuriate me. But that is actually kind of a good thing because it means I'm paying attention and I care. So
it's important that you get all sorts of opinions because it's healthy. Because if you put the blinders on, like like a horse, you're only going to have tunnel vision, and you're only going to be focused on one thing. Because if you're not looking all around, you're going to get smacked in the head. Trust me. Surlana will take that moment. When I'm too focused. A good smack to the back of my head brings me back to reality.
How do you think he got that boo-boo on his head?
That was her finger pointing.
Okay, let me give you a super quick list of known fake websites, and this is from Snopes.com, National Report, World News Daily Report, something called Huzlers, that's Huzlers, Empire News, something called Stupid with two P's, STUPPID, not the same as stupid.com, which is really awesome. News Examiner, Newswatch 28, now Newswatch 33, Naha Daily, the Stately Herald, News Buzz Daily, Now 8 News, that's with the number 8, The Reporters with a Z, Empire Herald, Satira Tribune, NC Scoop, the Nevada County Scooper, and there's a lot of those scoop things for every different county.
Any site that uses Comic Sans font.
They're not using Comic Sans font.
No, I'm just throwing that one out there.
Definitely, if you see something in Comic Sans, stop right there. Associated Media Coverage, React 365, the Burrard Street Journal, The Last Line of Defense, quote unquote, the Resistance, As American as Apple Pie, Freedom Junction, which is spelled strangely. And then, last but not least, if you want to make, I should encourage this, but it's kind of fun, and I did it today, or yesterday. You want to make your own fake news headline, go to Breaking News 365.net or BreakingNews247.net, and there's a generator. You just type in your tags and titles, and it will make a graphic that looks like a fake news headline.
Well, Surlana, I'm being told by the control room that we do have breaking news that the next fashion sense that are coming out of the market is K28's design of circus pants for all sizes for the family,
which accessorizes well with his belt.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So back to you, Surlana.
Well, here's another thing that bothers me. Now, this is from NBCnews.com. Take that however you want. They're saying that fake news spreads like wildfire on social media, quicker and faster, long-lasting than the truth. And they did a deep dive into Twitter to show that false news was retweeted more often than true news. I don't know how they did this. Falsehood diffused significantly farther, faster, deeper, and more broadly than the truth in all categories of information, not just news. And the effects were more pronounced for false political news than for false news about terrorism, natural disasters, science, urban legends, or financial information.
And a lot of that is probably because people get their emotions get involved in that. And so emotion leads without fact checking. And, that's why,
probably because the false stuff probably sounds more entertaining or fun or shocking.
It's almost like that. I'm going to be the first to get the news first. I'm going to be the first to commentate or come.
Yeah. To make a statement.
Yes, to make a statement. And so, people are rushed to get that information out first.
Let me first.
Me first.
It took the truth about 6 times as long as it faltered to reach 1,500 people. I'd like to know exactly how they did it. It wasn't bots spreading it. It was actual people, verified users. As I just said, it may be because false statements sound more surprising. It's like, this is more fun, than the truth. So I don't know. Can I just be sent to Mars right now? Get away from this mess. So, of course, they're saying the internet spawned as a resurgence of fake news. The internet is just laying there passive as a tool. It's us that are doing it and people who are programming things to do it. Mm-hmm. Again, it's not the gun that kills people, it's the bullets. It's just that I don't think we should be blaming the internet. It's just, I don't know if we should be blaming Facebook. It's just sitting there as a tool, The term fake news has its own life, referring not only to untrue reports, but increasingly used to dismiss reports that the user does not agree with. You could tell me the sky is blue. I'm like, I don't agree with that. That's fake. Mm-hmm. Walk outside. There's a blue sky. That's the world we live in. And I just hit the desk to make a point. Sorry about that. To objectively separate the truth from lies or mistakes, use sites to vote fact-checking like factcheck.org, hoaxslayer.com, politifact.com, snopes.org, truthaurfiction.com, and urbanlegends.about.com. I didn't know there was about anymore. They're the sites that reports true about 95% of the time. So, what they're saying is false news is more fun to share, I think. And how fake news becomes popular trending topic. Excuse me, I try not to burp all night. Well, that whole Pizzagate thing was a fake story. Past December, Edgar Welch opened fire in a Washington, D.C. pizzeria. He told police that he was there to rescue children forced into, that what they accused Hillary Clinton of. The story that she was running an operation through a pizzeria was invented before the election by fraudulent news sites and shared by millions. People were ready to believe something like this, so they did. And I think there's people that you and I know who are ready, and there's people out there ready and waiting to get upset about something regardless of the facts. This is the world we live in. This is the post-truth fake news world. That's how things get to trending. That's how fake news gets propagated and shared. It's cool, interesting, shocking. And it's nothing new. It's just a new, quicker, faster, efficient way to get to us now. Mostly through social media. And of course, social media has to have the internet.
Sorry,
an internet connection.
It made my leg angry.
You got a knee-jerk reaction, literally. So I'm trying not to read this whole website because it goes on and on. But cause it's an interview with a guy. So it's kind of almost like an addiction for some people to share this stuff.
Well, it is. I mean, it's like you can't get enough of it. It's instantaneous. I mean, that's the world. I mean, you keep saying that's the world we live in, but instant, fast, in your face, that's what it's all about, whether it's true or not. And And that's the problem.
And that's what upsets me. No one cares about the truth, the facts.
Mm-hmm. And it's sad to see so many.
No wonder we're all depressed and angry and upset. Because we don't know the way.
and the fact is that the news really propagates this.
They love it.
They love it. They're
profiting off it.
Yes, exactly. At any cost. Would it hurt them to promote the idea of love and unity?
Yeah, because there's no peace and love are not profitable. If they can make it profitable, then we'll be drowning in peace.
Mm-hmm.
Again, once you can remove the greed genome from humanity, then we can evolve. Otherwise, we're going to be stuck here till the apocalypse starts, and then God will sort us out.
It reminds me of what I was telling you, I guess a day or two ago, about Kanye West was on the Jimmy Fallon show. Not Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Dumb Knuckles, whatever his name is. I can't think of his name. Tell me what his name is.
Jimmy Kimmel?
Yeah, Kibbles, yeah.
Kibbles.
And
I'm not a super fan.
We have now reached the moment where we're starting to laugh at each other.
Oh, it comes around 11:30 and it gets goofy.
Anyway, the point is that, I'm not a big fan of Kanye, but the thing is that what he had to say was that, to Jimmy in that show was that the way he approaches things is with love. I mean, it's so easy to hate, but if you approach it with love, it's so much different. And the reason
that's a lovely statement. I think he's a little full of crap, but that's a lovely idea.
You have your opinion, and I'm not going to yell at you.
And I told you on the phone when you told me this. We live in a world where Kanye West is the voice of reason. I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
Well, part of that conversation was, why he came to the decision of supporting Trump.
That was the big controversy.
And that was the thing, because, Jimmy Kibbles and Bits is...
Hold my phrase.
is not a big fan of Trump, needless to say, because, I think a lot of people, take him or any of the talk show people that are out there. But anyway, he was saying how it took over a year and a half to finally say, I'm not going to be judged, or I'm not going to make an opinion just because you're telling me so. Because he mentioned like the black community. He mentioned,
he's a rapper.
He mentioned the rappers who were trying to say that, and people that you were around in California, saying, hey, yeah, you should be this and blah, blah, blah. And he said, no, that's not who I am. You're not going to make me be that way. And in addition, I think that it's easier to promote love because at least if you're showing love, and approaching it at an angle like that, people are going to be receptive to what you have to say. And I think that's, they shorten the version of, what he talked about. Of course, Kibbles and Bits was, like not agreeing with him.
I'm a bad influence on you.
No, I'm not a big, I really think, he's a hypocrite. And I have a hard problem. When it quacks like a duck, it has to be a duck. That's Jimmy Kibbles and Bits. So anyway, that's how I look at him. Yeah. And
well, Hollywood types are way out of tune with what's going on in the real world and the real people and facts. Mm-hmm. They live in a fake world.
But as far as that moment with Kanye, I felt like, okay, I could have a conversation with him. We may not agree about something, but at the end of our conversation,
could you imagine having a conversation with Kanye West?
Well, I mean, I'm sure it'd be interesting to say the least. But the thing is that at least I could have a conversation with him, and not feel like he's gonna like yell at me and everything and call me stupid or something like that.
One thing they did do on Jimmy Kimmel a while back was they had some other celebrities come on and read his tweets and sing his tweets. Mm-hmm. So he's not known for necessarily having the best ideas.
I think what I take away from that is, I could respect him.
Well, last bit of news here about Facebook. Mm-hmm. This is recent. I was going to do this in the beginning in our opening, but I thought, well, this is kind of relevant. If there's time, I'll stick it in. Facebook will start listing where its largest pages are managed from. So if you've got a large amount of American followers, you're going to have to take extra steps to verify your identity. So if you want to continue to manage and post on your pages, you'll need to complete an authorization process. I don't think we are going to have that problem.
Okay, I'm confused.
So you manage a Facebook page as lots of followers, and they're here in America. I mean, I don't know how many, but you're going to have to start an authorization process to verify your account. It's kind of like what Twitter did.
So I have to verify. Is this like?
I don't think we're big enough for that. So
I mean, is this like so they can avoid Russian people coming in?
They won't be able to post on your page till you complete the process. The information will be added to a forthcoming site called People Who Manage This Page.
So they're going to create another app?
Section, which will list the countries these pages are being managed from, and I think this probably is to combat
overseas.
Yeah. Will appear on pages with large U.S. audiences, and it appears that Facebook will be rolling out this feature across all pages. How large the pages had to be, Facebook, we aren't sharing the exact numbers as bad actors may use it to game the system. I don't think we're going to be included in that. So,
well, I still, I kind of understand now that you've explained it to me, based on the troubling
rolling out these changes to grapple with its platform's role in interfering with the 2016 election.
Exactly, that's why they're rolling it out. It's just so much with Facebook that really, I'm not even going to do the goat. The goat speaks, and it aggravates me. So, with that aggravation, I don't get aggravated when we take a break unless I'm drinking water. So, let's get back to another break, and when we come back, we will head down to the home stretch.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
Get your game on Spaceboy Universe. Level up with Spaceboy Universe. No quarters, no problems. Play it at Spaceboy Universe.
listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
All right, we're back. And do we have a call?
We don't have a call, but the phone lines are open.
Okay.
Would you like me to share that? Do you know the number?
Well, the number is 833-202-7296. That's 8. No, you're shaking your head no?
No.
Okay.
It should be 833-202-7286. The last 4 digits should spell out SBU.
Did I say 96?
Yeah.
Okay, I see where the problem is. Did I say 72 though?
Are you looking at the chat?
No, I'm not looking at the chat.
Is it just posted in the chat?
I have a Post-it note that's on my thing that I guess...
Even inaccurate. Fake news! Post-it note.
The thing is that it's... the way the lighting is.
Now we have a caller. So, that was worth it.
All right, put Bev through.
Are you there, Bev?
Hi. How are you?
Well, we've calmed down since last Saturday.
I'll tell you, I never laughed so hard. It was so funny.
Yeah, I laughed too hard, if you know what I mean. And I had to leave, change pants, and come back. So
she had to change her circus.
Hey, I almost had to make a mad dash, too.
I do not know what happened. I don't know what got into us. We were not drinking, at least not any, or we didn't take any illicit substances or drugs. We just got into a mood, and he set me off, and I said, because he was just sitting there so nonchalantly talking, and he's dabbing his forehead, and his blood's coming out, and I'm like,
yeah, well,
are you okay?
I'm not trying to make a big deal out of it, and she just decides to pull that in. And
well, it distracted me, keeps dabbing it, and
so,
I can hear it. I can hear it over the mic in the headphones, and you can hear it on the broadcast.
Oh,
dab, dab, dab.
You could not hear.
You can hear the rustle of the net. You can hear the rustle of
that is just fake news.
You're gonna set me off again.
Fake oh no, news. You're again. Don't.
But the idea that he's bleeding to death and I'm laughing about it is so funny to me. I even laughed about it while I was alone at work, and I was just, he's bleeding to death. It's hysterical. So when he was choking to death tonight, I didn't laugh. I got up and was proactive about it.
Yeah, but I knew you were thinking about it in your head.
Yeah, I'll laugh about it later when you don't know.
Is this the moment that I've been waiting for?
Jackpot.
I told Bob, I said, oh no, here we go again. She's going to start laughing. Oh, it was wild. It was wild.
And we've posted
I'll tell you, I never laughed so hard.
He posted the clip.
And I love her laugh.
Oh. Well, I don't do it often.
Yeah, I think towards the end, I started doing my Burt Reynolds laugh, and But it was genuine. Yeah.
In fact, we walked into a deli restaurant today, and he started trying to riff with the lady at the cash register to take our order. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just me trying to be funny. I was like, yeah, I'm trying to be. And they were like, oh, she's making fun of you. And I'm like, and then, of course, I set my purse down on the counter to look at the menu, and it's, of course, the yellow chicken purse. And she's like, you're trying to be funny, but she is a chicken purse? I said, yes, ma'am, it's all about subtlety.
Oh, I could just see you with that big old chicken purse.
Not that big. So it's a lot smaller than a lot of women's purse. It's a lot smaller. It's more like a TARDIS.
The thing is that she, doesn't like to be, cause attention to herself. But the fact is that particular purse, everywhere she goes, like, where did you get that purse? Where did you get that purse?
That purse is a tribute to my mother, and only I know that. And, of course, Spaceboy knows it.
Oh,
yeah,
my mother loved chickens. She grew up chickens. She was raised with chickens. But she told me sometime when I was in my 20s, she always wanted one of those comedy fake rubber chickens. And then, years later after she had passed away, I had found one as a dog toy, and I bought it just because I'm like, here we are, Mom. I'm living the dream for you now. So... It is not a huge purse, K28. It is not. I am going to take it. Tell you what.
Well, K has seen the person.
He has. Well, that's right. He has seen the person. I could take.
Of course, any man thinks the purse is huge.
I could take a photo of Spaceboy next to it for scale, if that would help anybody. I mean,
how's that going to make
Yeah,
well,
that's
okay,
huge.
you've heard of diaper bags for babies.
Well,
I
sure.
think us wives sometimes need diaper bags for their husbands.
Okay.
So is this a telling tale
Is there
about
something
Bob?
you need to tell us?
Oh, every time we go somewhere, here, stick this in your purse. Here, stick this in your purse. And it's like,
I guess.
I don't have that big of a purse.
Is he taking, like, the salt and pepper shakers and,
No!
leftovers?
Or when you're at the liquor store, he wants to make sure to take a few bottles, so...
Oh, gosh. But, I mean, it's so funny, though. It's like, yes, I have had huge purses in the past, my dear.
Did you have one of those crochet purses?
No, I never did.
I have purses, Bev, that are in my closet because they're not functioning right now, but I have 3 of them. They're purses. They're like patent leather, the shiny. But they have functioning, or they were functioning, I don't know why they're not anymore, clocks in them.
It's called a battery, Surlana.
No. I have one. You could put a brand new battery in it, and then 2 minutes later, it's already messed up again. There's something in the clock mechanism that's not correct. I would be happy to show you that purse and let you deal with it if you think you can fix it. But I love those purses. I won't even if they don't function, I'm not ever going to get rid of them. They catch attention. So I have the chicken purse. I have these other crazy purses. I collect insane purses. Not all of them. I have to be very specific about the ones I get, the ones I like. But I keep waiting for someone to call me on my BS. Like, you've got a chicken purse? That's weird, or that's strange. I don't know why anybody did. No one has ever said that to me. They're all like, oh, that is so cute. And I'm like, no, it's not. Come on.
Where did you get it?
I keep waiting for somebody to wade through the, BS and call me on it, but they never do. So, clock purse, awesome.
Sounds
chicken
like
purse,
you're
awesome.
into chickens like I am into teddy bears.
I'm not that into them. It's just like, it's just a silent tribute to my mom.
Yeah. Well, that's sweet.
I'm more into cats and owls, but I don't collect things anymore with cats and owls. I collect things like down on Pinterest. That's where I let things collect, where there's no limit.
Don't let her fool you. She's into demons and fallen angels. So
no, I'm not. Jeez Louise. Where he gets this?
I inherited all my mom's teddy bears when she passed, and she had lots of them. She did. So now I probably got about, I'd say 60, 70 stuffed teddy bears.
Wow.
I got Mom's chicken artwork, but she had good taste, so it's not like, it's like, it's like tasteful chicken art,
Oh. Wow. See, my, Bob's our sister-in-law, she was into roosters and that, and chickens, and her whole kitchen had roosters and chickens in them, and she finally decided to get away from them. It's wild to see what people collect.
I wish I could get my dad on the phone when we do these programs and have him talk about stories, things that actually happened when my mom and him were dating, stories that she told him when she was younger that involved chickens and farm life, because they're hysterical. Oh my goodness, they're hysterical. And probably PETA would be on our butts about it too. So, yes, Kay, I have taken chicken purse to KFC.
I was just going to say, did you see what he posted?
Kay, if you go back to my personal Facebook and you go through the photos, start scrolling through the photos, you will see a photo of the chicken purse next to the KFC box at KFC. I have taken the chicken purse to a local restaurant called the Egg and I. Now, I think if I walk into a breakfast restaurant that's called the Egg and I with a chicken purse, they ought to seat me as priority, but they don't.
They'll give you a free waffle.
Yeah, or something, or free scrambled eggs. But I've taken to the chicken to many chicken-based restaurants like Raising Cane's, which all they do is chicken. And I've got nothing out of it, but that's not the purpose. I have not gone into a Popeyes. I'm not crazy about Popeyes chicken, but their biscuits are on fleek. We don't have Popeyes here.
Now, we have KFC and Lee's, but we prefer Lee's over KFC.
We have got chicken out the wazoo down here. We've got local chains. We've got that Hart's Chicken Buffet. We've got that.
Oh, wow.
What's that place downtown everybody talks about?
Frenchie's?
Frenchie's. That's a local chain. We've got Raising Cane's, Church's, KFC. PDQ. That's a national one.
Wow.
Because it's Houston. We got everything. We had an pollo something.
There's no shortage of chicken here, and along with Mexican food.
Anything
Tex-Mex.
with the word pollo in it, we've got that because that means chicken in Spanish.
Oh.
No, I've never carried both chicken purses at once, unless Spaceway wants to carry one at the same time.
No, the chicken purses are seasonal, as you've described.
Right now, we're in the spring-summer chicken, which is the yellow chicken, and I suppose around September after the...
yeah, I forgot about
Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is prevalent. When the vernal equinox happens, I will switch to the darker chicken purse for fall, winter.
That's when she goes down to Mexico. And
wow. Bob said that the chicken fillet is going in near us.
We're getting one too, Bev, like almost within walking distance. Brand new. They've got it built, but they're like getting the insides ready. And I don't care because there is a Chick-fil-A Express where I work, and I can go there any dang day of the week, and I don't really care about it.
She's basically anti-pickle, and that's why she doesn't like pickle chicken.
They're in remodel. It's been closed all summer, which I don't care about. But
then why are you talking about it?
But when they come back in a few weeks, they're going to start serving breakfast at the Chick-fil-A Express at work, and that has me intrigued.
And they will also have breakfast pickles too. So
they better not. Starbucks at work.
Chicken and scrambled eggs. Chicken scrambled egg.
They might.
Or egg and chicken McMuffin.
They're talking about sausage stuff, not just chicken.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they closed Starbucks as well on the third floor to remodel it because they said the employees were claustrophobic, that there wasn't enough room to work behind the counter, so they're going to push it out a little bit. And when they come back, they're actually going to serve food like a real Starbucks, because this Starbucks is a teeny little thing. They just have a tiny display case.
As a Starbucks aficionado, I can say that they do have some tasty little breakfast sandwiches.
See, all they sold was little cake slices, croissants, and cake pops. That's all they've ever sold there.
Or pumpkin slices and pumpkin loaf, and
they don't serve the full Monty as if you go to a full-fledged
banana nut bread. That's some good stuff, along with the big Trenta black iced tea.
They do have that. They have. In fact, they went through this little thing, which I think was a scam at work, where, we're all out of the Venti. You'll have to buy the giant Trenta or the little ones. I'm like, oh, crap. But I went and got the 32 ounce, so.
Yeah, Bob says it's going to be out by McNasty's at the shopping center.
Shasta McNasty.
Yeah, we have nicknames for our restaurants here. We have Taco Hell, Burger Barf, McNasty's.
Well, everybody knows why it's Taco Hell. It plays havoc on your system when you're trying to exit the back end of the caboose.
Yeah. Now, I like their burritos.
And used to have a Taco Bell at work.
What's that one I used to get? I think it was an enchilada. I don't know. But I can't remember. But I mean, there's only certain things at Taco Hell always.
Right. We had a Taco Bell at work, a Taco Bell Express, which when it's Express, it means they don't have the full menu as one of the fast food restaurants.
Oh, really?
So it's like the limited menu.
Wow.
They dumped Taco Bell and put in a Subway Express, and the student body was furious about it because Taco Bell was cheaper.
How were they?
Oh.
Were they furious? How did you say it?
I'm sorry, I don't take requests. Anyway, either you recorded it and
furious about it.
Hey, see, Bev knows how to do it.
Okay.
See, but
just get Bev to do it.
That's right. It's a woman thing, isn't it?
Yeah. It's all about never giving him the satisfaction. So, unless he's bleeding from his forehead.
I mean, at least I'm never going to give you up.
Oh, don't try to rickroll me with your old ass memes.
Oh, you
trying
guys
to start
are
something.
You know that?
Again, he's trying to start something at the very, very end. Yeah. Well, at least we'll have that clip for like a best of for when I guess if we make it to September for our anniversary.
If the show doesn't get shut
down. Yeah, if we don't shut down before then.
Yes, that would be great to play that. Oh my God.
That
You're
and
gonna
there's
have people laughing.
Well, the four of you for sure, because you'll be there. There's
that
that clip, and then there's two other ones from this year that you're involved in, Bev, that I'll have to cut up. One of them I've already cut up, and another one I was in the middle of and got interrupted. But they're both about you being our marriage counselor. So, the one was from that Dreams.
I do what I can. I try.
K28 wants to know how Spaceboy hurt his head. He just had a random boo-boo, and he scratched it accidentally, maybe, and the scab came off, and it started bleeding. Not bad, not profusely, but it just seemed like it would not stop.
And then it's like, hey, let's bring attention to Spaceboy because he's bleeding all over the place.
It was, you know how head wounds just... Even if they're no big deal, they bleed. They just bleed.
You know how when you gut a fish, this is Surlana talking. You know how when you gut a fish and its guts go all over the place. You know.
We had catfish yesterday, catfish fillet at this restaurant, and it was good. I could have ate a lot more than that.
All right, so that's been Food Corner tonight, and we appreciate.
Hey, I go fishing. I just don't gut them. I even take them off the hook. Bob was amazed. He couldn't get over it. I said, why? You go fishing, you got to take it off the hook. And I told him, I said, but I just don't clean them. That's your job.
I think I'm going to get Bob some kind of rooster purse so he can carry around his own stuff instead of having you do it. Something manly.
A big rooster purse.
That won't embarrass him. It'll be manly.
That's manly.
It'll have like machine guns and,
a manly size.
Hey, there are
rooster.
guys. There's manly men. I mean, they're.
It'll look like Rambo.
Built and they carry purses.
It'll be rooster boat. That's what it'll be.
A big
It's
rooster.
starting to be the in thing now. Men carrying purses.
Man, I wish I knew how to work with leather and sew. I could be making money.
Really?
Such is the world. Anyway.
I know, I wish I knew how to sew.
We love that you called. I knew you've been waiting to call. I knew you'd have something to say because of last week. We were kind of waiting for you. We're glad you had a great time. I hope you had a good time tonight.
Bob says, never going to happen.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. That famous last words, Bob. Famous last words. We've got your address. Don't you worry.
Hopefully Bob can read into what I was saying about a big, large rooster purse.
He said it ain't never going to happen. That's what he typed. I'm like, yeah, well, we've got your address. Don't worry about it. Something will take place.
Oh, God. K28 says there is that 6-foot chicken for sale for $150.
That's a pretty good price, I guess, for a 6-foot chicken.
Oh.
Nuggets for days. Anyway,
that's as tall as Bob.
We thank you for calling in as usual, Bev. We're getting to where we got to wrap up and do housekeeping before we leave tonight.
You know, I never miss calling you guys.
Unless we don't have the line up.
Or if it's a pre-recorded
show.
Yeah.
Right. Because I love talking to you guys.
Well, we love you too, Bev.
And I do. I love you guys so much.
Well, at least we've
Saturday
got Bev.
night isn't the same without you.
No, but you would cope. You'd get through it.
Yeah, it's just kind of...
Bev, while we got you on the phone, I want you to. I'm going to give you a set of words to say, and then I want you to say them back. Okay, you ready for this?
Okay.
I want you to say, "Hey, this is Bev, and I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe."
Hey, this is Bev, and I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Perfect. Don't be surprised if it doesn't end up on a bumper here.
Hey, let Bob get on the phone, and he can do it too.
Well, why don't... Okay, Bob, you listening? You get on the phone.
You do it quick. Hurry.
Bob, get on the phone.
Don't have much time.
As we wait.
Man, I could have sewn a rooster person this time.
Yeah. Bob's smiling. I know that much. He's...
Well, Bob, time's ticking. You're losing your chance.
Bob, are you getting on the phone?
5, 4, 3...
Here.
2...
Yes.
Hello, Bob. Apparently, we want to do a recording with you. I want you to say, "Hey, this is Bob."
All right. Hey, this is Bob, and I'm listening to SBU.
Perfect. Thanks for not being a stranger tonight.
Can't get any stranger to me.
Well, and that's the truth. I've been married to him for 32 years. I can attest to that.
Well, we love you guys, and we appreciate you listening, and tune in next week. We're going to have Dave Cruz on.
We will. Love you.
Love you, too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And you'll be able to wish Dave Cruz a belated happy birthday, because he says he'll be here next Saturday.
Yes, he should be our guest next Saturday, and I'm looking forward to catching up with him and, old friends.
So
it has been a long time. And so those Beyonders that are Space Cadets, you get to merge next weekend. So what else, Surlana? As I'm starting to freeze up.
I don't have any info for what's going to happen with us beyond next weekend. Of course, there's always topics I'm
working on some guests.
Okay. He's official guest getter now, and I'm more topic coordinator. So that's what's going to happen. And we're still intending to attend Maker Faire, Houston Maker Faire in October. So if you're in Houston and you're around at that time, come see us at Maker Faire. We'll have a booth. And there will be videos and maybe some interviews. And maybe we'll see Dora there from Exodus VR. Or some people from Exodus VR will be there.
Or we'll see Pony Trap.
Pony Trap. Yes. We'll probably follow up with them in another month as we get closer to Maker Faire. See what they're still coming, what they're going to do. Maybe we can get a jam session going. Who knows?
You never know.
You never know.
So, some exciting stuff.
Exciting stuffs.
Yeah, can't even say it. Exciting stuff coming down the pipe, and it should be good, and a lot of good stuff. Well,
I'm glad I did tonight's topic. It was interesting. I was getting into it. I was getting upset about it. If I get upset about it, it's going to be good. Hopefully I'll have yet another change of pants, and then we'll see you again next weekend.
And also look for Monday where there will be a video clip from the show, and
two video clips,
maybe a couple, because there was a little bit of we did a little videoing before the show, and then we did videoing during the show, during our opening banter session. And not as awesome as the Death by Surlana video that wasn't a video, but it was a recording of the clip from previous week's show.
Last 20 minutes. Check it out.
So
that's for K28.
So you can find that on our YouTube channel, which, by the way, go to YouTube and search for Spaceboy Universe. Click the subscribe button and definitely click the bell to get notified when there's new content available. How is that, Surlana?
I misspelled Bob. I said bye, Bev, and boy, and I meant Bob. Sorry, Bob.
Surlana saying our final salutations to our wonderful space cadets that are out there, and we appreciate you coming home to the Space Center. And as Surlana bleeps out,
I don't know what that was.
And we appreciate you showing up for the gig there. And once again, thanks for all those who contributed to the AC repair thing. our AC is nice and cold, and we appreciate it.
Yes, that was vital.
Yes, and we couldn't have done it without the support of users like you. And
listeners.
Yeah, support.
Not
Did
users.
I say you? Oh, I'm sorry.
He's a computer IT guy. You're all users to him.
Yeah, that is true. So on that magical note, let's see here. Where do we got here? I guess that's it. I can't think of anything else, Surlana.
We'll be here next week and the week after that, whether you like it or not.
Whether you like it or not. So on that magical note, remember, don't post anything to social media if you don't want it to come bite you in the rear. Good night, everyone.
Spaceboy Universe is hosted by Spaceboy and Surlana. Executive producer is Surlana. Associate producer is Leanne Cordes. Music production is Spaceboy of SpaceboyMusic.com. Special thanks goes out to Leanne K, K28, Dino, Solars Blue Raven, Patrick Sporer, Bob and Beverly N. This has been a Spaceboy Universe production. Support the universe by exploring Spaceboy Universe with Spaceboy and Surlana. Sweet dreams, Space Cadets.